I want to tell you a story about a type of World War II heroism that's different than the many tales you've likely heard or seen in a movie before. This story is about a whole community in France that openly stood up to the Nazis and, without needing a single weapon, succeeded in rescuing 5,000 refugees.
The Jews were there around us. They came at our door, asked for protection. We could have delivered them in the hands of the police. We were told that it wouldn't be wrong, that they would be taken care of by people in the east of Europe. It was all a lie.
I'm Brian Farrell, co-founder and editor of Waging Nonviolence, a nonprofit publication that covers movements for peace and justice. A few years ago, I noticed that we were publishing more and more articles about rising authoritarianism around the world, as well as the worst refugee crisis in decades. And my mind turned back to this surprisingly little-known story of resistance and rescue during World War II.
Their gray little church, perched on a high mountain, on a plateau on a high mountain, was like a battery, charged with love, charged with such a power of love, that the Germans were disarmed in the literal sense. Their arms weren't relevant.
It was a piece of history that had always intrigued me, just simply by how much it defied conventional wisdom. After all, when you think of resistance to the Nazis, you think of large armies, guerrilla warfare, assassination plots, and secret operations. Not a bunch of ordinary people who acted with nothing but their sense of what was right.
When the Vichy police came and said, give us the list of the Jews, they said, we don't know what a Jew is, and we only know men.
After revisiting the small trove of books and one 30-year-old documentary about this courageous moment, I decided that there was an opportunity to tell this story in a new way. One that's relevant to today's struggle against fascism, racism, and xenophobia. So I began to seek out people who lived in the village and were still alive, all of them in their 90s.
I remember my brothers and me looking out the window down below us. There was a poster saying, "Death sentence to anybody harboring Jews." We had two of them right across the street.
I also met people who were rescued by the village.
We were in wonderful surroundings, people who appreciated us. It was a total flip-flop from Germany. After having been persecuted, discriminated against, segregated out of society.
What I found was a story that had more to tell us about our times and how to resist the evil that we see than I ever could have imagined.
This was a story about people who couldn't look the other way. It's really a singular example of a whole community that turned itself into a place of sanctuary.
So join me as I explore this remarkable story in City of Refuge, a 10-part podcast series that starts October 15th, with a new episode every week at wagingnonviolence.org or wherever you listen to podcasts.